In the final days of December 2019, the Modi government initiated and ordered one of the biggest national security reforms by first announcing the name of India's first Chief of Defence Staff and then defining his role and responsibilities to integrate and create a new structure for India's armed services. By naming General Bipin Rawat, who till December 31st was India's Army Chief, as the first Chief of Defence Staff, the Modi government fulfilled a promise that was made by the Atal Bihari Vajpayee government in 2001, following the recommendations of the group of ministers who were acting on the report of the Kargil Review Committee, which had recommended a Chief of Defence Staff as the principal military advisor to the government, who will integrate, who will coordinate and who will look after the three armed forces, that is the Indian Army, the Indian Navy and the Indian Air Force. Now, what does this CDS bring to the table? First of all, the CDS will be a 4-star general, equivalent in pay and perks and ranks to the three chiefs of the three armed forces. Second, he will head what is now seen as a bonus of creating a Department of Military Affairs, which means all the three armed forces will now come under the Department of Military Affairs, and the CDS is empowered enough to coordinate, to prioritize and to optimize resources of all the three services. The CDS has a dual-hatted role. One, he is the principal military advisor to the Raksha Mantri or the Defence Minister on military matters, and also he acts as the secretary of the Department of Military Affairs, which is a newly created department to coordinate the activities of all the three services. The other important reform or the important element of this reform is that the CDS will be also advisor to the Nuclear Command Authority. In the past, the Nuclear Command Authority did not have a direct military advice. It went by collective advice of the three chiefs. Now, the Nuclear Command Authority will have the direct military advice from the CDS. That apart, in the Ministry of Defence, this Department of Military Affairs is now a separate department apart from the four already that existed. That is the Department of Defence, the Department of Defence Production, the Department of Ex-Servicemen Welfare and the Department of Research and Development. Now, what does the Department of Military Affairs bring to the table? One, it pools in all the resources, and the final step in this reform in a 3-year time frame that the CDS will have to bring is to create joint/theatre commands. Already there is talk about how this will pan out and what the CDS will bring to the entire exercise, which will now start rolling off immediately after his appointment. General Rawat, Bipin Rawat, who was the Army Chief for 3 years from December 2016 till December 2019, now has an onerous task to roll out the reforms that are envisaged by the Prime Minister when he announced the appointment of a CDS during his speech on 15th August from the Red Fort. And he will have to now live up to the expectations not only of the Prime Minister but also of the entire country. This is a overdue reform that was waiting to be implemented, and compliments to the Prime Minister, the Defence Minister Rajnath Singh and of course the National Security Advisor Ajit Doval, who was heading the implementation committee after the CDS's appointment was announced by the Prime Minister from the Red Fort. So all in all, a major step in restructuring India's military affairs, and which fits into the national defence structure or the national security structure as the months and years go by. This is Nitin Gokhale reporting for StratNewsGlobal.